Hi everyone, welcome to the Jenkins Infrastructure Team Meeting, weekly team meeting. We are today the 15th of April 2025. Around the virtual table today we have, no, we don't have, we don't have, Damien is on holidays, lucky him. But we have Jay. Hello Jay, we got Mark, myself, Bruno. If Kevin or Hervé appear, we will have to update our attended list. Welcome, everyone. For the announcement, last week, the release 2.505 successfully released on the 8th of April. As for today, it did start on time. We did check a few seconds ago. So I think it should take again 1 hour and a half, about 1 hour and a half. And the main announcement was the migration of CI Jenkins IO that have been done last week with no problem. I think you had few, Mark, no? During the weekend?
None that I'm aware of.
Oh,
Not that I remember anyway.
I thought you had to.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
all
right. Yeah. Yes. So you're right. Absolutely. Thanks. Good reminder. There was a failure to allocate Maven bomb labels. It would only allocate 2 and give them back, and we need 30 or more at a time. And the solution after reading log messages and seeing things was restart. And
it worked.
That was enough to allow the in-progress bomb build to finish successfully. So very, very nice result from pipeline durability, where pipelines can survive across a controller restart. So very, very nice. Yeah.
Okay, so success for the migration, but may have affecting some agents for the bomb.
Right.
Good. Yes, the GitHub changed the way they handle the milestone. We cannot move around the items and order them. It's very annoying, and we will have to play with the GitHub projects to manage the priority. The first attempt I did is not really successful. We will have to play around with that. But as it's impacting our work, we will have to spend some time understanding everything for the milestone. DigitalOcean, they changed the scheduling for their maintenance that was planned last week, if I remember correctly. They moved that to the 30th of April. That's an LTS release day. Okay. No, that shouldn't affect anything about the release. The only thing we have on DigitalOcean is the archives, but the maintenance should only affect any API call, so creating new droplet or stuff like that. So it should.
Okay, so it's not that they're going to take down the server. Archives.jenkins.io is expected to continue running.
Yes, that's not what they plan.
Thanks. Okay, good.
Upcoming calendar. So the next weekly will be the 2.507 next Tuesday. The next LTS is planned for the 30th of April with the 2.504.1, and Christian is release lead. Okay, and release candidate is today. Okay, thank you, Mark. Next security advisory, do we have any?
None that has been announced by the security.
No, nothing in there. Okay, and here we are. And for the upcoming credential exploration, yeah, we got the Artifactory RPU token that exterior, and this one have to be done by Damien, I think, as we need Artifactory access. Next major event, there's none? No, I don't think so. For the cloud budget, I had some help from Damien because there is two things in there that I cannot get. The Azure sponsorship, no, the AWS sponsorship account, and the JFrog Artifactory. So he did the update for me. For the Azure CDF, we are, oh, it's not been updated, sorry. Forgot this one. So I'm not sure. We forgot this one. Probably that's probably last week numbers. For the sponsorship from Azure, we moved back. So right now we consume the same amount than the full last month, and we're only the 15th of the month. The forecast is for now at 8.5. So we see that the migration of CI is impacting. So it's good. We have to spend that money until the 31 of May. As for DigitalOcean, we increase a little. We forecast at 300, which is normal. We are using the new droplet for weekly CI and Puppet. I think I just spawned Puppet for now, but we spend like $30 or $40 more per month. As for the AWS account, we are still on the cloud-based account, a little less, but that might change. For the sponsored account, we dropped. We have a forecast at 2,500. We dropped for 83% migration of CI. So this moved there. As for JFrog, the storage increased. We are at 4.24 terabytes, which means that the cleanup that Darren is planning on G-Center will be needed to decrease the storage. And as for the bandwidth, for now we have a forecast at 30 gig terabyte, and we're at 1463.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's for April consumption predicts that we'll still use 30 terabytes. Okay.
We're at 14, and we're at the 15th of April.
Okay.
So yeah.
So on the storage, Darren has completed a backup of JCenter.
Oh, perfect.
And Mark has a backup running that I haven't checked in several days. So maybe I should say it differently. Started a backup a few days ago. So we had agreement from Damien that if we have two backups, one at Darren's, one at mine, that's enough. We won't need to create a third backup. We don't think this is used at all because it's inaccessible to people outside. But just for safety's sake, we wanted to have at least two backups of it.
Okay, good. So let's start by what we've done last week. I remember that I was off most of the time last week, so I've not done much. I have to say that my colleagues did the work. First is the build stack due to GitHub API rate limit. Jay, you want to talk about this one, or you want me to keep talking?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
Good.
So we modified the pipeline script that's used to build and publish our Docker images for Jenkins Infra. And we disabled tag trigger builds, which brought down the so we don't hit GitHub API rate limits anymore. So it's down to approx 50% because the tags were building two more images, which doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, the code has been it's rolled out into production and it works very well for now.
Thank you, Jay. So it's bringing us to the plugin health core release that did not get a proper Docker tag. And in fact, this was the consequence of this one, because we choose not to build and not to trigger tags. And in fact, the plugin health scoring is using manual tagging. So this morning with Jay, we had to understand that and to work around to make sure that even if a tag is triggered manually, we still build it. So we had to re-enable the scan of tags for that repository and that one only, because we want to avoid most of them to avoid that GitHub rate limit. So for the plugin health scoring, we are still scanning the tags, and we had to change a little the code. Thank you, Jay, by the way, to make sure that we build if it's manually tagged. So it's been done this morning. Of course, thank you, Damien, also because even on holidays, he helped us. So it's good. So very few. So this one, that's the one you talked about, Mark. No Maven bomb agent allocating on CI, and you did a restart of the controller and then went back. Okay.
Right. And the oddity was it was allocating very slowly, but it was definitely allocating. If we'd been willing to wait another several days, it was as though it could allocate no more than 2 at a time. And I suspect what was happening is, based on the messages, it would have allowed up to 30, but 28 of them were allocated and somehow failed to be cleaned. And by restarting, it swaps them all. Right. There was a leak, a resource leak, and the resource leak was resolved by restart. So I didn't really fix the bug. There is a bug somewhere, but I don't know how to duplicate the bug.
If it happen again, we will dig in there. Okay, thank you. Error connection reset or connection stack when using IPv6. In fact, we had a small hiccup in the NSG rules, the resource group, the security group. So Damien did add the IPv6 in the allowed.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you, Bruno.
And yes, thank you, Bruno, that because you're the one who picked that up. You forgot.
But I guess not many people use Jenkins CI through their smartphone when on holiday, but whatever. Bigger.
You shouldn't do that. But India is using only IPv6, so IPv6 is very important.
Right.
That's why we work.
That's the crucial story there, is that India, as far as I understand it, Jay, India made the transition to IPv6 quite a while ago, and you've been given the huge number of addresses you need, it's no shock, right? The country is large, and IPv6 is the right solution. So,
and the big one was the migration of the controller CI Jenkins IO to Azure. So it went well. And Damien, as usual, explained everything. And you have the IPv6. So everything went smoothly. Very good job. So closed as not planned. The P4 plugin, the test case failure, it seems that it was coming from the P4 plugin, as explained by Mark. Thank you, Mark. We have no news from our user, and it's been closed by Mark. Thank you.
That's really, we can't fix a segmentation violation in their binary, right? They've checked a binary into the repository. They're welcome to do that, and then they run that binary. They're also welcome to do that, but segmentation violation is not anything the Infra team can fix.
Nope. This one is a new one. Update centages and are lagging on mirrors.jenkins.io. I was about to answer when Damien cut me off. You shouldn't get the JSON through mirrors.jenkins.io. Mirrors.jenkins.io is used for the get Jenkins.io, and update center is on update.jenkins.io. Both are using mirror bits architecture, but they are not working the same. We handle the mirrors for update center. especially to be 100% sure that both of all the mirrors are up to date before MirrorBits can send anyone on them. We are dealing with the synchronization of those mirrors. As for mirror.jenkins.io, that's more an aliases for getJenkins.io. So you shouldn't be using those ones for the update center, and moreover, that specific information, the JSON, shouldn't be available. That's part of the splitting we're doing on the PKG machine. So Damien answered, and we're waiting for the user. Jenkins updates. Yes, it seems that there is some blacklisting somewhere in Belarus for the mirror.
So I had a question there. I assume that one should just be closed because there is truly nothing we can do about what the ISPs in Belarus do with in terms of blocking them. And the response from the administrators of the University of Aachen said, look, they're not blocking it, so it's got to be coming from the ISP.
Oh, you got the answer from the...
Yes. Where was that? Was it an email? Where did I see that? Because I know that I've seen mention from the Aachen administrators saying that, hey, well, I'll have to look further, so I can't close it based on these comments, but my intent would be, let's close this thing because it's not a problem that we can solve.
We can tell them they can provide us
They could
the
do
server for the mirror.
They could do a country specific server inside Belarus that could be used, or to stop blocking them.
A normal mirror without any blocking, not only this country specific. Country specific is not the way to go. It's
Fair point.
I mean,
Good.
yeah, we got some already. Chinese Enki. Oh, I got a problem on this one. We decided to help the new Chinese Jenkins site work to provide a way to preview the website with Netlify, like we did with Jenkins prototype. My problem is that to build the site, our process, the script, is using Docker. And Netlify doesn't allow to use Docker in his agent's process to build the site. So as Team J, I think that we should be able to change the script. I'm not quite sure that's in our hand as Infra team, but maybe it's something that Damien will find easy. I don't know. For now, I'm stuck with that Docker thing. Docker is not available. Let me show you. Yeah, Docker cannot execute. So
I don't see anything we can do about this one right now, right?
I mean, right now, I don't think so, but
I don't.
teams say that there's something we can do.
Well, yes, in terms of if someone is willing to rework the build scripts, then then it could be done, but we can't hostify a container-based environment on Netlify. So the idea that we had is not going to work without someone reworking those scripts. And I don't see the value of the Infra team reworking those scripts. That's not.
I agree.
We just accept that, okay, the idea didn't work. And
that's why I posted all the information, because maybe someone in the team that is translating the Chinese or working on the Chinese script may be able to change it. Maybe team can give some pointer, but as the Infra team, I don't think we should spend some more time on that. Oh, I need to write down notes. Mark, can I let you take the notes? I'm really bad at notes.
Yes,
Speaking and taking notes, that's only
you bet.
Damien's work. So for the apt updates fail, this one is for Puppet. I'm wondering, we spoke about that last week, I think. Damien discovered that the GPG key for the project, the Puppet project for that version, the version we're using with 6, the GPG key expired for the project. So now we are stuck with a warning or even a failure when we try to install it. And we have to plan on a way to move around and probably to host ourselves the deb file and everything we need, and to use the cloud init to make sure that we install the proper version directly in our machine. Of course, that's a work to do, but we keep that in. It will be useful for everything we do around Puppet right now. Third CI, the work-light identity, I started on cert to make sure that we don't need to rotate the credential anymore, but I need to work to continue working on the version for the DNS, for the CertBot, to be sure that we use the work-light identity, meaning that we don't have to create and rotate the credential. I had no time to deal with that, but yes, I need to continue that work. Puppet, same. We need to continue the migration to DigitalOcean. We had a small error because the name couldn't have any underscore. That was changed, and now we got the full droplet. But we need now to make sure that everything is created and provided. So the old Puppet should spin up the new Puppet. We will probably bump into that apt update fails. And then we will have to make sure that we got all the information and that we don't screw up the system with 2 masters. So work in progress. Oh yeah, that's not ordered correctly because in fact, the upgrade for Kubernetes was the 31, which should go around here. For once, we are not really doing it, meaning that we did for the private Infra CIGIO agents. Hello, Kevin. And for the other one, we don't upgrade them. We create new ones directly in the sponsorship account and with directly the 1.31.6. And right now, for example, we got 2 private K8s, and the new one is coming on the sponsorship account. It's not done, it's a work in progress, but in fact, all the migration is done through the creation of the new ones and with the new parameters that are taking advantage of everything we learned on the Azure Kubernetes cluster. So the Kubernetes and as you can see, this one is the one I was talking about. We recreate public KTS and private KTS. So for now, private KTS only with all the modern settings. The cluster exists already. Migration is not done, but the cluster exists. Then, Cloudflare. I'm not quite sure that I had time to work on that one. No, nothing more. So still a work in progress. Weekly CI, no time to work on this one neither. So we'll have to work on that. I'm not sure we will have time this week. Infrastat, Damien is still waiting for some news to get them back. Oh, private K8S is a subtask of this one. So
Yeah,
that configuration.
So that infra stats, while I'd very much like to have it back, it's much lower priority than our cost management activities, right? We've got to sure that we do what we can to spread costs correctly.
Yes. Workload identity, it will follow. We did start with cert. When cert will be done, we can move on and trust in CI because we will know how to use that. That work will avoid all the credential rotation and spending time on that and losing time on that. So it's not money saving, but time saving and work saving. And this one is for Jay. Do you want to talk about that, Jay? The update separation pipeline.
Yes, so the goal of this issue is to replace all pipelines that use the parallel build Docker and update key script. So we want to keep a separate pipeline to look at the update CLI pubs. And since there's a lot of repositories that use the script that we're trying to replace, so the work is in progress. We're trying to segregate the scripts and check the nature of it on the controller.
Thank you, Jay.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Stefan?
Well, no. We need to go step by step and check every repository to make sure we don't miss something, and we fine tune everything and the timing and the parameters. But yes, what you said is perfectly well. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
That's all for the work in progress. As for the issue to come, trusted CI user workload identity, that will be after cert and CI. Running the CI Jenkins IO and its agents, of course, in Java 21 instead of Java 17. For that, we will have to wait for Damien, I'm pretty sure. The default outbound access for VM in Azure will be retired. Oh yes, that one is a message from Azure saying that they will remove at the 30th of September the method. So we will have to update our 5 VM with an explicit outbound method. So we need to dig in that and do that before the 30th of September. We got some time. Move collection of stats. So that's
on that one. So that just is a configuration change. We won't have to recreate the machines or anything. It's some adjustment of their configuration.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
We need to make sure of that, but it should be an easy one. It should be, but we need to make sure of that. Collection of stat is what we spoke already about the infra stat missing. And those one are the old ones, like usual, that we keep speaking of since a few weeks because we would like to tackle them, but we have no time. Let's see if there is new issues that I've missed. No, nothing to triage. I'm sorry, I was quite fast again.
Great, thank you.
Do you have any question?
None from me. So if we're done, I'd say let's turn off recording and check the health of the weekly build.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good week and see you next week.